Started from the bottom, all I had was a dream. Always been alone, never really had a team. Cause the loyalty is suspect, nothing's what it seems. As I'm counting all this money, thinking how to make it clean. Never been broke, see I always had a job. And before I learned to hustle, I was taught how to rob. Nice with the hands, but I'm iller with the shot. Battling depression cause it's lonely at the top. Drinking all this Henny just to try and ease the pain. Though I never had regrets, there's some things that I wouldn't do the same. I would never change for some change, and I never let the sneak distance take me out my game. I'm a grown man. Unless it's for my kids, I don't hold hands. Cause they hate it when you focused on your own plans. So I gamble with my money, I don't gamble with my life in the street. Cause you only get one chance. Grab a bottle of that Henny and I mix it with some Red Bull. Got a couple pills that I'm popping for the pain.
What's going on? My name is Marcus Whitley, and yes, this is Good Behavior. Now, in this episode, I want to talk about the difference between inherited traits and generational curses. See, both are passed down without you having any control over it. But there are differences between the two. And that's what I want to point out with this episode. Because there are a lot of people who confuse them. And there's also a lot of people that don't even know that there's a difference between the two. And then you got those people that just use it as an excuse. They want to act like they're crippled, and they use these excuses as a crutch to hold on to. Now, I was taught that excuses are like a drug. I mean, I don't know what any other way to put it, really. They're a quick fix, but will always cause damage. And once you get addicted to it, it's hard to kick. So the best thing that you can do is be real. Like, especially with yourself. Because if you can look in the mirror and lie to yourself, then there's nobody in this world that you wouldn't lie to. And that's a fact. But back to the curses and traits that I want to talk about. I'm going to start with inherited traits. Now, I call them this because these are behaviors that are mostly learned and passed down. Now, there's some that I believe, at least, like I said, that I believe that we're born with. Other people might feel differently. But unlike generational curses, inherited traits are things that we can change, things that we do have control over. We might have our parents' attitude or their temper, or we might pick up these habits that they have without even realizing it. Now, when you're young, I don't know if you don't realize it, or you don't care to, or you're just in denial because you swear that you're nothing like them. Like, you swear that they're not cool or they don't know anything. So, I mean, you feel like they can never relate to you. They're old. I mean, all of us have went through it at some point in time where we thought we were too cool for our parents and we thought we had all the answers. See, it wasn't until I got older that I started to notice things that people have been trying to point out for years, and I just ignored it, or maybe I just didn't want to hear it. Traits that I have that are similar to my family, like my work ethic, my anger, my ability to be patient, my big heart, and that hustler's mindset. The way that I react to certain situations. And all of these things that I've heard over the years are identical to my parents. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but the older I get, the more that I start to notice and accept these things. And the bad traits that I picked up from them, I'm able to work on and change. Like I don't have to stay victim to those. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it is possible. And honestly, that's all it takes is if there's a possibility, then you can do something about it. Patience wasn't something that I was born with. I'll be honest with you. It took it took years and a lot of work to be able to develop patience. And I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. The same with controlling my anger. When when I was young, straight up, I didn't care. I was I was reckless. I was ready to fight at any moment. It's because I let my anger get the best of me, and that's all I knew at that time. And as I got older, I started to realize that that's not acceptable as an adult. Now, I've always been around kids and have been a mentor or a father type figure. But it wasn't until watching my son being born that I developed a softer heart. But at the same time, it made me more protective. Seeing a child being born, it changed my life. And honestly, I think that was the best moment of my life. It made me want to help others as well as my own to make the community a better place, a more safer place for them to be able to grow up in. Because it seems like every generation that passes, it just keeps getting worse. And I don't want that for my kids or anybody else's kids that have to go through. So I want to, what I try to do at least is show them that there are other options in life as opposed to all these negative ones that we're pushed towards. Now, those are some traits that I've inherited and developed over my life. But there's also some that I try to avoid that I've seen run in my family. Like being selfish, toxic, self-centered. But honestly, I feel like it's a double-edged sword because when it comes to family, they say they talk about how life is short. So not to hold on to arguments or petty things, and you should always find a way to be around your family. But I don't know because I understand, yeah, tomorrow isn't promised. But at the same time, if somebody's being toxic and destroying your mental health, then I mean, whether it's family or not, you need to remove them from your life. And I don't know if that's just something that can be fixed with an apology. That that's something that's going to take a lot of work on both ends. It can't be a one-sided thing. And if both people aren't willing to do it, then don't put yourself in a bad situation. I mean, it's tough, but honestly, you got to do what's best for you. Because if your mental health isn't good, then You're not going to be good for anybody else or yourself. So that's another thing I've been stuck on and have been questioning a lot. Like, I mean, honestly, is there any right answer for that? But I want to get into generational curses now, because did a little bit on the inherited traits. Now, with these curses, which are things that are passed down that you can't change, like a big one for me when I was younger was being short. Because let's face it, I'm not 6 feet. And I used to hate that growing up because I felt like it cost me a real shot at being in the NFL. Because like I said before, like I was good. But that was holding me back. And that was something that can't be changed. So I gave up on my dream in high school because no matter how much I trained or what I did, it wouldn't change that. My height is my height, and that's it. I mean, to this day, I still think about what if. But I don't let it bother me anymore because that's, like I said, that's not something that can be changed. I've accepted it and moved on. I found my purpose. Now, to some people, this might be a curse or a blessing. And that's the physical attributes. Now, the only reason that I say that is because you got people that hate hearing, oh, you look like your father, or you look like your mother, because they want to feel like they're their own person and they're unique. But then I say it's a blessing because some people feel honored that they look like their father and mother. But that's genetics, and it is what it is. You got to love yourself regardless. Now, one of the scariest generational curses is something we all face, and that's mental health. The only thing we can do when it comes to mental health is realize that it runs in your family. Educate yourself and find someone that can help or something that can help if you're able to. But even if it's something that you can't, you got to love what you have while you have it. Don't stress wishing you were different or why is this happening to you? Because the only thing that can stop you from being a good person is you. Nothing and nobody else can stop you from being a good person. So don't let anybody tell you different. Now, I hope this episode was able to open your eyes and make you think about inherited traits and generational curses. My name is Marcus Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. So until the next episode. For more episodes and info, you can find me on all social media at I Am Marcus Whitley, and find any of my books, Both Sides of the Street, Choices and Consequences, Greatness Under Pressure, and Battling Demons, all on Amazon. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.